Okay, now I'm going to go over the part where the interim review where you have triangles and transformations. Now, once again, you can always refer back to these, okay, this brain dump sheet, okay, the transformation rules. But again, all of this is also in your notebook, so if you need further explanation, you should go back to your notebook, okay? Number one, given triangle XYZ, okay, which coordinate represents the location of point X prime after a dilation about the origin by a scale factor of 2? Okay, so that means that's an enlargement, but thankfully they're only asking for X prime, as you can see here. So I just need to zero in on X prime. What are the coordinates for that? So be very careful here. X comes before Y. So on the X-axis, X is at 1, and then on the Y-axis, it's at 8, positive 8. So there's the original coordinates for X. Now if I want X prime, and you're dilating it, you got to multiply each of these by 2. Okay, so you should get 216. Now normally you don't see it on here, but you know that that's where it's going to end up. So A is the correct answer. Number 2, which sequence, okay, that just means order of transformations, best represents movements starting, it's even italicized, from A, B, C, D to W, X, Y, Z. Okay, now this one, I'm going to grab a little paper, and you might want to get your scrap paper to do this. I'm going to use what's called patty paper, okay, but you can use scrap paper. Scrap paper is not as see-through, but you can still see through somehow. So we're going to start, it says starting from A, B, C, D. Okay, A, B, C, D should match up with W, X, Y, Z. So imagine rotating this. If you rotate it clockwise, imagine this here, it should end up in the quadrant 3. This is quadrant 2. It should end up here, okay? So, alright, so let's say we do end up at this, in this quadrant, 90 degrees counterclockwise. Translate right 2 and down 1, okay? Right 2, 1, 1, 2, and down 1. That looks like the correct answer, A. But I want to show you why the other ones don't work. So watch, let's look at answer choice B. It says rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. Okay, that goes, whoops, I totally messed up A. I went counterclockwise, or sorry about that, guys. So the correct answer is not A. See, I fell for a trap. I was not paying attention. Hey, it happens, right? So counterclockwise, clockwise, okay, 90 degrees clockwise, should go this way, okay? And it ends up here in the first quadrant. And then if you go translate right 2, so I'm going to move it right 1, 2, and then down 1, that definitely doesn't end up on W, X, Y, Z, so it's not A. Answer choice B says to do a 90 degrees counterclockwise, which goes opposite direction, which is what I had originally done. So here it is. Okay, and then translate 2 to the right, 1, 2, and down 1. Now that makes sense. So it's probably B, but I'm going to check C. And that's the other thing, guys. Did you notice that I didn't catch my error until I looked at answer choice B and say, wait a minute, ooh, I did A wrong. So it does help to just quickly do a scan and make sure that you chose the right answer, because if you did something in error like I just did, then you'll notice one that should also be right and be like, wait a minute, did I choose the right one? And you know, we believe in you to be able to go back and say, okay, let me just double check like I just did. So why isn't it C? Okay, it says 90 degrees counterclockwise, translate left 2 and up 1. Okay, so let's say I rotate counterclockwise. Okay, so it ends up here, and it says left 2, 1, 2, and then up 1. That's definitely not on W, X, Y, Z. So C is not the right choice. Now, we already saw from answer choice A, if you rotate 90 degrees clockwise, okay, you're over here in this quadrant, and then reflection over the y-axis, which means we fold over this way. I flip it. Nope, that's not on W, X, Y, Z. So yeah, I'm confident that B is the correct answer. So notice here my work is basically copying the pre-image, okay, because you're starting from A, B, C, D, copying that and just turning and trying things to see. And if you're not absolutely sure, just see what you can eliminate, like, oh yeah, it's definitely not that, oh yeah, it's definitely not that, and then you can start narrowing down your choices to find the correct one. Number 3, which description most accurately describes the transformation shown below? Okay, so it looks like there's some translations. Okay, there's a reflection. Okay, so I'm going to use my scrap paper, and I'm going to draw my pre-image, because you see the arrow here, you can tell that this is the pre-image and that one's the image. If I translate 6 units to the right and 5 down, so let's see if this will end up in the same place. So I'm going to just kind of keep track of that point, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. Oh, 6, sorry. 6. And then down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That actually looks like this one, doesn't it? Okay, so let me just try again. 6 units to the right, and then 5 units down. So the best thing for me to do is just kind of keep track of one of the corners. Either one is fine. So let's say I do this one, then I'm looking at every grid. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see that's the same location for that one. Now, I learned my lesson from number 2 that I want to make sure the other ones actually aren't correct. So this one says translation 6 units left and 5 units up. Definitely that's not right, because I'd have to go this way and go up, and that does not end up in the center like this one does. So, and then C says just translate 6 unit left. It will never get me to that location of the triangle. And if you reflect across the y-axis, okay, it should flip to here somewhere, which is not where this triangle is. So yeah, I feel confident that A is correct. And my scrap paper is the work that I used, basically. So scrap paper. Okay. All right, let's go to number 4. Given the figure below, find the measure. This little M means measure, and this means angle, BCD. Now, when you see 3 letters, guys, just follow the first letter. Here's my pencil, then to C, and then to D. So it's talking about this angle right here. Hey, that's external. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this angle plus this angle should equal the external angle, exterior angle. I forgot to put this on the cheat sheet or our brain dump, but that's okay because, again, you want to go back and take a look at it. So 83 plus 47, all right? 83 plus 47 is 130, so D is the correct answer. Okay, 83 plus 47 should be the exterior. And then number 5, okay, looks like I probably need to use scrap paper again. Which sequence of transformations could prove that figure 1 is similar? Remember, similar means same size, different shape. Okay, so to figure 2. So looks like if you, okay, don't get freaked out. I'm going to just use the answer choice to figure out what's the best answer. If you dilate by a scale factor of 2, remember that's greater than 1. If you're going from figure 1 to figure 2, from here to here, it got smaller, okay? You can tell that it got smaller. So it should not be multiplying by a scale factor that's greater than 1. So this is not the correct answer. A and B are out. That's nice. It's already reduced to 2 possible answer choices. So the interesting thing is they use the same scale factor, so I don't have to figure out how much smaller it got. It looks like the scale factor was 2/3, which 2/3, if you think of the number line, okay, is somewhere in here. It's actually around here. That's 2/3. That's between 0 and 1. That's going to be a reduction, which means that it does apply here because the one going from arrow 1 to arrow 2, it became smaller. So, okay, thankfully they're the same scale factor, okay? Then you rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. So how did it go from here to here? Okay, think of a clock. This is 12 o'clock and this is going this way. That's going against the clock. You're going from 12 to 11 to 10. That's going backwards. So it should be counterclockwise because that's our only 2 options. So D would be the best answer choice. So again, one thing you can learn from here is look at your answer choices and see which one it's definitely not, and then figure out what would be the best conclusion. And I chose D, and D is correct. And that's my work. Number 6. Which equation would be used or could be used to find the measure of exterior angle JHG, okay, or GHJ? GHJ, okay, it's talking about this angle. So out here, that's the exterior angle. And how would you find it? You would take the measure of angle, this 80 plus 45, and then it would automatically equal that. So there's no 180 subtracting that. It would just be 80 plus 45, not subtraction, and not adding it with 180. So B is the correct answer, and that's my work. Okay? Number 7, which description most accurately describes the transformation below? Okay, so notice the primes here, and again, I'll use my scrap paper, and I would even write down ABC so I see which one matches with the primes. So it looks like maybe it turned, okay, so rotated, because I see like B ends up down here and then A prime, C prime, so let's see. If I rotate it, okay, rotate, 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 up, let's see, C matches with C prime, A matches with A prime, and B matches with B prime. So it looks like I went this way. Okay, well, you can also go this way, but the problem is I don't see a 270 here, so it can't be, it must be going this way. And it definitely looks like a 90 degrees rotation, because if I connect the origin with A, and then maybe A prime, it definitely looks like a 90-degree angle. So, and you can do that with B and B prime, and that'll be a 90-degree angle, or C and C prime, that's a 90-degree. The question is, so it's 90 degrees. It's not a reflection, because if it was a reflection over the x-axis, you would have to flip it, and it would be down here. Okay, if it was a reflection over the y-axis, which is possible, but if you flip it, okay, so fold it, it should look like that, okay? And it doesn't. It's slightly down, and the B doesn't match up with the B prime, okay? So it's a rotation, and it went this way, which if you think of 12 o'clock, then 1 o'clock, it's going in that direction. That's a normal clockwise rotation, so it would be B. And again, my work is evident directly on the graph. Now, obviously, when you do it online, you can't draw on the pictures, but if you need to, make a little sketch like I did, and then see what you can do with your paper. Get creative with your scratch paper. And last but not least, number 8. In the graph below, figures ABCD, RSTU, and WXYZ are all congruent to each other. Which statement could not be true? That means 3 of these are true, okay? So RSTU results from a translation of ABCD. So translation means slide, right? So ABCD, if I slide it, okay, does it result in ABCD? Well, this is kind of tricky, and I think for now, I was going to go over it, but I think for the sake of time, I don't want to confuse you guys, so I'm just going to say don't worry about number 8, okay? It's not a bad problem, but for the sake of the interim, I think you might be okay not knowing the answer for this one, okay? So, and I don't want to confuse you. So, again, you can always play back any of these videos and listen to the instruction. And remember, when you hear me talking math, and you're talking math, you're seeing it, you're writing it, you're learning. Okay, I just want to wish you guys the best, and please make sure that you do review.